Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samastajana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam. अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् तपोभिक्षीणपापानां शान्तानां वीतरागिणां मुमुक्षूणामपेक्ष्योऽयम् आत्मबोधो विधीयते. So we saw yesterday that out of ignorance alone we superimpose the Annamaya and Pranamaya activities on Ātma. That we saw. And we also saw yesterday Ajnanat, on account of ignorance alone, because of ignorance, Manasopadehe Kartruttvadini cha Ātmani. Because of ignorance alone, Aham Karta, Aham Bhokta ityadi are all superimposed due to mind. Mind as a kosha. Ambugate Chandre Chalanadi Yatham Bhasa. Just as when the moon is reflected in the water and the waters are moving, the moon also appears to be moving the reflection. So with the movement of the water is superimposed on the moon, and we say that moon is also moving. Moon is not moving. It is our illusion. Similarly, Ātma is Nishkriyaha. That we saw. Now, Buddhi, Upadhi, how it is superimposed on Ātma. What it says, 23rd verse. Ragecha Sukha Dukkhadi Buddhau Satyam Pravartate Sushuptau Nasti Tannashe Tasmat Buddhestu Natmanaha Ragadvesha Ragecha Sukha Dukkhadi Buddhau Satyam Pravartate Sushuptau Nasti Tannashe Tasmat Buddhestu Natmanaha. Now, we saw in the yesterday also I told you, Raga Dvesha, actually normally we place them in the mind. Katrutva Bhava etc. we place in the intellect. But Shankaracharya reversed it. Okay. So in the Buddhi, in the mind, he spoke about Katrutva etc. And in the Buddhi, he brought Raga and Dvesha. He says here, so all Raga Dvesha is shown here as Buddhi Dharmas, not as Mano Dharma, by Shankaracharya ji. Because both are Vrittiyatmak, we don't have to worry about it. And these also, that is Raga and Ichcha, etc., is also superimposed on Atman. Now we should understand the difference between Raga and Ichcha. Raga means what? Attachment. Now attachment to a thing which has already been procured. You cannot attach yourself to a particular vastu which is not obtained by you. So there are two things. all those objects which have been gained by us, then I am attached to those objects. It is called raga. So raga means what? Prapta vishaye ragaha. Prapta vishaye ragaha. What all has been gained, attained by you. So you can have attachment towards all those things. Then what is desire? Desire is what? Aprapta vishaye ichha or kama. Aprapta vishaya means what? That which has not yet been gained, that which has not yet been procured. You are not yet gained, you are not got it. So you are desiring it. So vastu which is not yet yours, you desire. So this is the difference between raga and ichha. So prapta vishaye ragaha, aprapta vishaye ichha or kama. Now this one. So Bhagavan says raga, ichha, sukha dukkhadi buddhau satyam pravartate. We'll see now. So now that means what? Raga is not belonging to Ātma. In Ātma Tattva there is no raga. So raga is superimposed. Clear? Ichha, desire, also does not belong to Ātma. Therefore it is superimposed on Ātma. Which one? Ichha also superimposed. They belong to Buddhi. But we say they are superimposed on Atman. And I think that, I have a desire, I have an attachment, all these things superimposed on Atman. Similarly, dukkha, raga, ichha, sukham also, and dukkham also. First we will see dukkham. Dukkham also, it does not belong to Atma. Dukkham also superimposed. Okay, sir. Raga is superimposed on Atman, understood. Tick. Ichha is superimposed on Atma, understood. Because Atma is full. Essentially, the Suddha Atma cannot have any desire or any Ichha, any attachment, because everything is He alone, Atman alone. Now, Dukkham also is superimposed on me by ignorance, understood. But when you say Sukham also is superimposed on Atma, then it doesn't mean that Atma doesn't have Sukha. Sukha also superimposed. We say we thought that Atma is Sukha Swarupa. No. Here, Atma Swarupam is Ananda Swarupam. Which Sukha we are talking about? Vritti Sukham or Janya Sukham. That Sukham which is produced because of the contact between sense organs and the sense objects. Yehi sparshaja bhogaha, indriya sparshaja bhogaha. So all these Bhagavan Krishna mentions in Gita, that all the attached enjoyments which are nothing but the contact between the sense organs and the sense objects, indriyas and the sense object, that contact gives you a spark of sukham. That sukham is janya sukham, vritti sukham. It is a thought, it is generated in the mind because of contact. It is not original. So sukham also, that sukham, vritti sukham, janya sukham is also superimposed on Atma. Right? This sukham, what is janya sukham, which is produced because of contact between the sense organs and the sense objects, that sukham which comes and goes, agama apayano, they come and go. They agachanti, then they gachanti cha. Both, they come and go. Therefore, it is not And there are degrees of sukham also, which we saw: priyavritti, moda, pramoda, degrees of sukham. So, vastu smaranena, vastu darshanena, vastu bhogena. That we can say like that. By thinking of pleasant objects, you get some sukham, that which you like. Of those objects which you like, you get priya. They are in front of you, moda. You are literally enjoying the object. It is called pramoda. Various types of these beautiful sukhams are mentioned. So these three sukhams also are belonging to anatma, not atma, because they are produced. Now, very beautiful thing. Now, Naiyayikas, they say, according to their philosophy, Shankaracharya is giving that particular khandanam, is refuting that particular argument of Siddhantas. Siddhanta is called Naiyayikas, a philosopher, a Darshana Shastra, Naiyayika, Nyaya. They say, according to Nyaya philosophy, listen carefully, Raga, Icha, Sukham, Dukkham, etc., they are called Atma Dharmaha. They are all properties or gunas of the Atman alone, properties of Atma. And therefore, Atma is Dravyam, Atma is Sagunaha. That is their philosophy. They don't accept Atma is Nirgunam and all. Atma is Dravya. It's another Dravya, subtle Dravya. Atom, Anu, Sukshma it is. It has its own properties. Therefore, Atma also Sukham, Kabhi Sukhi, Kabhi Dukhi. That is their philosophy. But in Shankaracharya now, is refuting that Nyaya philosophy by saying Anvaya Vyatireka. Anvaya means presence. Vyatireka means absence. When make it as you hear, the things will become clearer. Suppose if X exists, Y exists. If X doesn't exist, Y doesn't exist. Why? Not WHY. Why? So when X is existing, then Y is existing. If X is not there, Y is not there. If X is there, Y is there, it is called Anvaya, presence. X is not there, therefore Y is not there. That is, Y's existence is depending on X's existence. So if X is there, Y is there, it is Anvaya. If X is not there, Y is not there, it is called Vyatireka. So presence and absence. Now they say that Anvaya Vyatireka, Bhagavan Shankaracharya says that when the Buddhi is awake, where in Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, in both the avasthas, both in waking and dream, Buddhi is there. In dream also Buddhi is there. It is awakened, not yet. In Nidra Avastha, it is sleeping. So, in Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, where Buddhi is present. So, Buddhi is present. Therefore, Raga, Icha, Sukham, Dukkham, all these things are existing. Buddhau Satyam Pravartate. If Buddhi is there, then alone Raga, Icha, Sukha, Dukkham, etc. are able to exist. Pravartate. They are there. Okay. So this is called Anvaya. If Buddhi is there, because in waking plane and dream plane Buddhi is there, therefore Raga, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkham, etc. are existing. In deep sleep state, Sushuptau Nasti, that is Vyatireka. In the Sushupti, in deep sleep state, Buddhi Nasti, Buddhi is resolved. So in deep sleep state, when Buddhi is dissolved, resolved. Aham kimapi na janami. There is nothing, no mind, no buddhi, no nothing. Everything is resolved, and you are in deep sleep state. So in deep sleep state, where is raga? Where is dvesha? Where is ichcha? Where is sukham? Where is dukkham? Think about it. So therefore, we don't find raga, dvesha, etc., etc. All these things don't exist in deep sleep state. So buddhau satyam pravartate, sushuptau nasti, tannashe, the buddhinashe, tasmat buddhestu na atmanaha. When buddhi is not existing in deep sleep state, and therefore raga, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, etc. also doesn't exist. That means what? That means it proves that raga, dvesha, sukham, dukkham, etc. they all belonging to buddhi, not to Atma. Because Atma is present in all the three planes of consciousness. Atma is present in waking plane, Atma is present in dream state, Atma is present in deep sleep state. It is a one thing which is present all the time. But other states come and go. Jagrata Avastha comes and goes, Swapna Avastha comes and goes, Nidra Avastha comes and goes. But whenever Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, where mind is present, buddhi and mind are present, both buddhi is awake, and therefore is able to think and have attachment, sukham, dukkham, etc., etc., etc. And deep sleep state they don't have. Therefore, now to whom does they belong to? They means raga, sukham, dukkham, etc. All these things belonging to buddhi, not to Atma. Tasmat buddhestu. They belong to buddhi. The Gurudev translation is of the mind only because both are vrityaatmak. Either you call. So buddhestu, they belong to that in buddhi, where the desires are born, kartrutva bhava is there, na atmanaha. They don't belong to Atman. So this is how Nayayikas, that where they say Atma is guna, substance, dravya is refuted. Suppose if raga dveshas are belonging to Atma, not to buddhi, then what will happen? What will happen? You can never get rid of raga dvesha. Because Atma is permanent. And raga dvesha also permanently they will be with you. Because it becomes swabhava for you. So our raga dvesha, it's sukham, dukkham, etc. becomes my nature because they belong to Atma. So I am Atma. I have no death. Therefore they are always with me. And also means what? In deep sleep state, when I go to deep sleep state, raga dvesha also would exist with me. I will never be liberated from. Thank God, we can be liberated. Therefore, friends, in this shloka, Shankaracharya so beautifully explained that buddhau satyam pravartate. So only when I wake up only, no, all the desires and lust and greed and passion and buffeted by sukham and dukkham, all the experiences are happening. I give an example, just like suddenly it strikes, so I just give. Example, don't stretch example beyond, just to understand. Imagine somebody is high tides, ocean is there. Ocean is full of tides and who will feel the high tides buffeted by the oceanic waves, up and down, thrown here and somewhere drowned, again brought up, brought you out, but you are not dying, but you are constantly tortured. The high wave takes you and then again drops you down and then again some other wave takes you inside, and when you drop down, you go inside the ocean for some distance, again into some depth, again come back. The water pushes you. You are not dying. There is no death, but buffeted because you are awake. Suppose you have gone into deep sleep. These disturbances may be there, high tide, low tide, but you don't feel anything because you are in deep sleep state. But when I wake up, I feel all this turmoil. When you are in deep sleep, where is COVID-19? Where is the fear of coronavirus? Where is that horrible news that we read normally every day? All the things which are happening around the world. See, friends, therefore, great Mahatmas, this is a very important point. Not that we don't know, but we forget. So, therefore, when the mind and buddhi are awake, then samsara is there. Therefore, samsara belongs to the buddhi, mana buddhi, antakarana. Samsara doesn't belong to Atma. So, the first thing, if we know this, then I'm relieved. I'm relieved. Intellectually, first knowledge-wise, I'm relieved. And that gives me confidence. Then how to realize it? That will come again in future verses. So in this sloka, buddhau satyam pravartate. Sushuptau nasti tannashe tasmat buddhestu na atmanaha. What a beautiful sloka. And Shankaracharya Satya beautifully he gives in 23rd verse. Now we will go to next verse 24. प्रकाशोर्कस्य तो यस्य शैत्यमग्नेर्यथोष्णता स्वभावः सच्चिदानन्द नित्यनिर्मलतात्मनः प्रकाशोर्कस्य तो यस्य शैत्यम् अग्नेर्यथोष्णता स्वभावः सच्चिदानन्द नित्यनिर्मलतात्मनः. See, at the time of Adhyasa, Acharya Shankaracharya says, at the time of Adhyasa, Atma is Shuddham only. When you are superimposing, at the time of superimposition, what is the nature of Atma? Pure only. Or before the Adhyasa, before the superimposition, Atma is Shuddha. After this superimposition is removed, Shuddha. See? So when superimposition, Adhyasa is over, Atma is Shuddha. During Adhyasa, also Atma is pure. This is a very important point. Suppose example, you take famous example. Vedanta cannot be without a rope and snake. So in Rajju Sarpa Udaharanam, before the superimposition of snake on the rope and after the superimposition is removed, negated. So before and after, what was there? Rope only. Now what is there during the superimposition? Our tendency immediately we want to say during superimposition there was snake. We will say that. That also is wrong. Because at the time of perceiving the snake also, actually what is there is Rajju only. Normally, what we say, I am sarpa, I am serpent, at the time of superimposition. So, what is actually that swabhava of Rajju? Rajju swabhavaha. That is always there. Before superimposition, during superimposition, after superimposition. That's why in one of the meditations by a great master, he guides a guided meditation. I heard it somewhere, some time back. He takes you to, he asks you to withdraw, and slowly he takes you to your childhood. He asks you to illumine your own childhood. Then he asks you to remember. So because you are a consciousness, you are consciousness. Everything is happening. You are the witness. So he is trying to awaken that witnesshood in us. Witness means everything you should remember, recall. Because you are the witness. You saw it. You knew. So he takes you into mother's womb. Recall that you are in a womb and illumine that experience. You may not remember, but he's asking you to go into that mode. Then he will take you back to many lives. Then he will take you back to long in the beginning of earth formation. Then he will take you back in the meditation, guiding you. You said now visualize the earth in a gaseous state. And then still he will take you back before the formation of the universe. Everything is only void. In that void, that the universes are gases are born, the huge nebulae, whatever you call, and all those star clusters are formed, blasts took place, universes are born. Where? In front of you. He says in front of you. You are that consciousness who were the witness, and he says you forgot it. You forgot all about it. So that means during the formation of the Jagat, or during the superimposition, also I am that Brahman alone. So, therefore, it is not that, Ajnana Kale Aham Baddhaha. During the time of ignorance, I am in bondage. I have to gain knowledge. After gain knowledge, I become Muktaha. That also is wrong. Even now, those of all of us who consider ourselves are ignorant, struggling, sansaris, whipped by fear, all kinds of negativities, even now. When a disciple wrote a letter to master, I am not keeping well. I have been not keeping well. I am not all right, something he wrote. Then that master replied, you have been all right. We have to just move you to that state or condition where you can see yourself clearly that you are all right. What a beautiful reply. In spite of all turmoil, our Shuddha Swarupa is always there. The teacher says only I have to train you to look at yourself, that you have been all right. So therefore, here he says that your swabhava is nitya mukta swabhava. Therefore, here he says prakashaha arkasya. What is the nature of sun? Prakasha swarupa. Luminosity. It is the nature of the sun. Toyasya shaityam. Coolness of the water. Toyam is water. Shaityam, coolness. So water, what is the nature of water? Cool, not hot. Agnehe yatha ushnata. What is the nature of the fire? Heat. Excuse me. What is the nature of the fire? Heat. So can you see cold fire? No. Have you seen the dark sun? No. Can you keep the water as original swabhava as hot? No. Water will revert back to original nature is. It has a tendency to, in science also says, in nature, every vastu, everything has tendency to revert back to their original state. That's called swabhava. Swabhava. Just as the swabhava of Agni, the fire is heat. Swabhava of water is coolness. Swabhava of the sun is luminosity. Similarly, Sat Chit Ananda Nitya Nirmalata Atmanaha. What is the nature of Atman? Atman is, nature of Swabhava of Atman is Sat, existence, Chit, consciousness, Ananda, bliss. Then what it says? Nitya, eternity, Nirmalata, purity. So therefore every vastu has its own inherent swabhava. Tasya bhavaha swabhavaha. And it is innate nature. It cannot be changed. It can never give up its swabhava. It is always like that. So what is the nature of Atman? Sat, Chit, Ananda, Nityata, then purity, Shuddhata, Nirmalata. So that can never go. Therefore, that meditation, when you meditate, I am always pure, eternal. Before superimposition, I am that supreme consciousness. During the Ajnana Sthiti, where I don't know. Therefore, now I want to become pure. Therefore, I want to do sadhana. I means what? Atman is already pure. Then what is sadhana? Why should we gain knowledge? Knowledge is to gain that knowledge is actually, our sadhana is not for the becoming mukta. Sadhana is to gain knowledge, and that knowledge is to know that we are pure. So to know that we are pure requires sadhana. We are not creating purity out of our sadhana. Therefore, great masters have emphasized not only compassion towards everybody, you are compassionate towards yourself. Yes, knowledge I gained, but I'm still sometimes slip down. Doesn't matter. As Gurudev said, just get up and walk again. Because essentially I am pure. My swabhava is Satchidananda Swarupa. Nitya Nirmalata. That is a beautiful shloka in 24th. Now, the coming shloka is lot of explanation is necessary. I will continue today. I'm not going to stop. We have some other 10 minutes time is there. So we'll see today. Half whatever we can see. We'll continue the thought tomorrow also. For the 15th shloka. Ātmanas Satchidamshasya Buddhe Vrittiriti Dvayam Samyodya cha vivekena Janamiti pravartate. Ātmanas Satchidamshasya बुद्धेर वृत्तिरिति द्वयम् संयोज्य च विवेकेन जानामीति प्रवर्तते. Now this way you have to listen to this very. I am not going to cutting short any of this commentary part of it as given by great Mahatmas. So we will see systematically. It will take time also to understand. Those who have gone deep into Vedanta, for them it is easy. Anyway, for everybody it is a revision, reflection, or for some it is Sravanam, for some it is Mananam. Okay, now the question is, how can we say that Atma is Nitya, Satrupa, Satchitno, Sadamshaha, Satrupam, Nirmala Rupam, Nitya Swarupaha, Satya Swarupaha, meaning changeless. So Atma is changeless. Listen carefully. Atma is changeless. So Purapakshi comes into picture. There's some lot of, so that keeping that Purapakshi opponent in mind, Shankaracharya answered. So Mahatmas have to, the great work they have done, that, oh, this is answer means that must be the question. That must be the question means that question belongs to Purapakshi. So keeping that in view, Shankaracharya gave this beautiful shloka. Now, here we say, Atma is changeless. Changeless means what? Nishkriyaha, meaning there is no action. Purapakshi will not agree. He has his own doubt. He tries to, Purapakshi means opponent, some other Siddhanti, some other philosopher, not Advaiti. He holds a thought that how can you say Atma is Nishkriyaha? Atma is actionless. Because I have my own logic, sir. So basically, based on that logic, I can prove that Atma is not Nishkriyaha, Atma is Kriyavan. Kriya is there, action is there in Atma. Then I will prove it, he says. Then Shankaracharya answers that in this sloka. Where is this? The word, the action, Kriya comes into picture. Not in Atma. Then how the Kriya takes place? So when you say, normally, I go is a verb. Gacchami. Aham gacchami. Kriyat, going is a verb. Go. That indicates what? Kriya. Movement. I am going. It's a Kriya, action. I am movement, it is indicating. Now, Kriya, any action, cannot independently exist. It requires a shelter, ashraya. The locus, the point of action must be somebody, some entity. It should be depending on dravya. Otherwise, how can a kriya can happen? So dravya is necessary. So what is the support for the kriya action? Suppose aham gacchami. I am going. Going is a kriya. What is its ashraya, support, shelter, on which it is depending on me? If I am not there, gacchami cannot be there. Aham gacchami. Gacchami is going. Movement, karma. Depending on whom? Aham. You remove aham, where is gacchami? I go. The gacchami is not there. Movement is not there. Therefore, aham is the karta. So the karta should be there. The subject. Who is the subject in aham? I am going. I am going or I go. Who is the subject in that I am going or I go? I. So I should be there for the kriya of gamanam to happen. So subject is a locus of the action. Okay. Now, according to the rules, the Vyakarana rules, he says, so the first one is what? Kriya cannot take place without an ashraya. Number one. Number two, whenever a kriya takes place, the rule says, the grammar rule says, that action or kriya always brings a change in the subject, in the locus. Locus means on which that kriya is depending. On that locus, it brings some change. Any action brings change only. It's locus. Suppose Rama is working, Rama is action, Rama is acting, Rama is moving. Rama is moving, Rama is working means what? Rama cannot be the same. Why? He is undergoing change. He may get tired. He may have to move from one place to other place. He is also gasping. So these are all the changes in the subject who is working, on whom the action is dependent. All these are happening in Rama or Krishna or in me or in you. Why? We are the locus of the action. Okay. So the Purvapakshi says, Kriya always brings out a modification in Ashraya. So Ātma, what is it going to take you is, Ātman is Ashrayam, and Ātma is, Kriya is taking place. So Kriya should bring necessarily change in the Ātman. So how can Ātma be changeless? Think. So he says, Purvapakshi says, Aham janami, I know. Janami means knowing. Knowing is a kriya. That is his logic. Knowing is a kriya. I am knowing it. So jnana kriya. So that jnana ashraya, who is a jnana ashraya? Because jnana ka ashraya kaun hai? Aham, karta. Karta is there. One who is pursuing the knowledge. And who is aham? He says Ātma, Purvapakshi. Therefore, in knowing also, when you are gaining, it's a kriya. Jnana kriya. Knowing knowledge is a kriya. According to Purvapakshi. We are not talking about Shuddha Jnanam. We are talking about the process of knowing. So there is a Manasa Kriya going on. Therefore, he says, in that action also, the rule is what? It has to bring some changes in its ashraya, karma ashraya. So karma ashraya is karta. So karma necessarily brings some change in its ashraya. That is the rule. And therefore Ātma, on which the karma is depending, the process of knowledge is depending. Therefore there must be Jnana Kriya Ashraya, that is shelter, support for the Jnana Kriya is necessary. If you say Atman is changeless, so Jnana Kriya Ashraya Sambhavam na Sambhavati. Therefore, I am proving, sir, there is a change in Atman. Whenever any Kriya is happening, Atma is subjected to change. I think this is the Purvapakshi. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, my dear, This jnana kriya is also superimposition, because Shuddha Atma there is no kriya. The question is, who is working, who is acting? So who is karta? Shuddha Atma is not karta. Atma is not having any jnana kriya. Atma is jnana swarupam. It's a pure jnana swarupa, pure nature of knowledge. Shuddha jnanaika murtaye nirmalaya prashantaya dakshina murtaye namaha. So in that Atman there is no change. How? That's what Shloka says. Atmana satyachid amshascha buddhe vrittehi dvayam iti dvayam samyojya avivekena janami iti janami jnana kriya. Aham janami jnana kriya it is. Iti pravartate, that we will see more. So far now I am not going to repeat tomorrow. Purapakshi says very clearly. So two important things I said. There must be ashraya for karma, and ashraya must change when the karma is going on. So ashraya is Atman, and when the jnana kriya is going on, jnana process of knowledge, there must be necessary changes in Atman. Therefore, you cannot say Atma is nishkriya, actionless or changeless. This is Purapakshi. Opponent says. Shankaracharya says jnana kriya is also superimposition. It is not real. More about it we'll see tomorrow. Thank you for extra time today that you are given. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai. Hari Om.